And I'm very glad that I'm coming after Dion, so you are already sensitized to the AI revolution. What are we saying? We're saying this technology is transformative. How can we use it as Africans to improve the quality of life of our people? How can we use this technology to solve our problems? We must have urgency. We must take charge of this technology so that we use it as a driver of inclusive development and shared prosperity in Africa. Yes, there are dangers. Yes, there are risks. But why don't you and I concentrate on the potential? Concentrate on the potential to make a difference in the lives of Africans. And in keeping with the theme of this conference, sustainable finance for development in the majority world. You know, Professor Moyo, Becky Moyo, no one explained to us yesterday what you mean by majority world. I'll say a bit on that, because it's very important. In the AI revolution, we need to think about scale. We must think about Africa as a continent and work together as a continent. We must work together in the global south. What do we mean by global south? The emerging and least industrialized countries. That's what we mean by global south. And when you look at the numbers, in the world we have 8 billion people. 6.6 billion people are in the global south. So the global south is the global majority. So when you say majority world, we're ostensibly saying the global south, and the global south is the global majority. So when we do solve the problems of the global south, we're solving the problems of the majority world. That is the meaning of that term that Professor Moyo and Bomba never explained to you. Majority world. It is very important for us because in the AI revolution, we have to go to work together with China, with India, Singapore. Africa must work as a continent. So we're talking about 6.6 billion people. Majority world. Of course, we are Africans. How many are we? 1.4 billion of us. Can you imagine if I was to rock up and say, here come, I'm the African. I speak on behalf of 1.4 billion people. And behind me, I have a collective GDP of $3.4 trillion. And I have all these minerals. Even Trump will cut a deal with me. But don't go as little Rwanda. Go as little South Africa. You're very small South Africa. Don't go to Trump alone. Go as Africa. 1.4 billion people. This is how we're going to take charge of the AI revolution. But more importantly, why just Africa? We got the African diaspora, global Africa. What are the numbers for global Africa? 2.2 billion people. 2.2 billion people in global Africa. And what is the economics? According to their numbers, $5 trillion. We're talking about financing here, Professor Moyo. In global Africa, we have 2.2 billion people with a massive GDP of $5 trillion, according to the IMF and World Bank numbers, which we question because they don't count our assets underground. As we do AI, let us understand our strengths. Professor Moyo, you misled us in high school. This map is not correct. How can 7,200 be smaller than 6,400? As we embrace AI, let us understand that we are much bigger than they tell us we are. All those countries can fit into Africa. The US, China, and India. I say this to say, as we embrace the AI revolution, AI technology, we must know that we got strengths. Look at all those minerals. Look at that land mass. Unfortunately, we're selling our minerals raw. Why don't we use AI to do beneficiation? Why don't you use AI to do value addition of that massive resource base? Why don't we leverage our remittances? This is the context. This is the framework in which we are talking about AI. What is it? Johnny didn't define it. The professor will define it. We are talking about the development and deployment of computer systems or machines that can perform tasks with human-like intelligence, learning, problem solving, decision making. If we can have those three things in a computer system, in an algorithm with AI. And of course, the taxonomy, single task AI, agentic AI, generative AI, AGI. That last one is interesting. We are talking about superintelligence, where the computer system, the AI system, is smarter than the smartest human being, smarter than Elon Musk, smarter than Einstein, smarter than Newton. We are not there yet. It's work in progress. It's called singularity. You talk a lot about intentionality. The machines are going to have intentionality, not just you as our master of ceremony and your crowd here. We are not there yet. It's work in progress. We must understand these things and the different examples. I want to emphasize, Brian was here talking about AI, which I have never seen, an AI which doesn't know the Pope is no wife. Brian, I hope you are in the house. Yes, Brian. Grok 4 will tell you all the names of the popes from the beginning of the Catholic Church, their mothers and fathers, and also their duration of power. In other words, yes, there are some dubious AI systems. Please, Brian, stay away from dubious AI. Grok 4, this one came out on the 9th of July. This one is serious business, and I'll tell you why it is serious. We have a thing Brian called humanity's last examination. We take PhD questions in every field, in sociology, in law, in economics, in physics, in chemistry, in vet science, in medicine, PhD level questions, and fit them into this machine. About 1,000 fields. It's called humanity's last exam. Your most intelligent professor at WITS, your most intelligent professor at AUC, at Harvard, at MIT, will score at maximum 5%. The smartest person with an IQ of 276 will get 5%. Grok 4 gets 44%. This system, in terms of exams, is a narrow definition of intelligence. In terms of examination, the machine is 10 times smarter than the smartest human being. I know intelligence is more than examination. But what we have done with this humanity's last exam is to demonstrate that superintelligence is almost here. So please, disabuse yourself of an AI system that doesn't know that the Pope is no wife. Disabuse yourself of that illusion. But let me concede, there are problems. AI can enforce societal inequalities. There's vulnerability to breaches and misuse. There are dangers, there are problems. Ethical issues, bad actors, fake news, disinformation, hallucinations. That's Brian's favorite subject. Wrong answers, fictitious references. Those are called hallucinations. They are there. Widening the gap between the heavens and the have-nots. There's a problem if we are not careful. The gap between the rich and the poor is going to increase if we're not careful. There's a problem of data colonialism. There's potential for digital imperialism. That's why we need to talk about decoloniality in AI, decolonizing AI, democratizing AI. Very important. But more dangerous is the issue of the arms race. There's serious competition going on, geopolitics, Russia, China, America. Superintelligence. You know, right now, China and America are kind of even, you know, nuclear weapons, you know, GDP, $27 trillion, $19 trillion. Whichever of the two countries, China and America, that achieves superintelligence, they'll be in a class of their own. So we have a problem of competition, which is AI-driven. And also, AI systems are not neutral. Here's what your favorite professor, Walter Isaacson, says. We must ensure that these AI systems reflect our American values, respect our Western values. So deliberately, their boys and girls in Silicon Valley are putting their interests in there and their values. Where are yours, African? Create your own AI system. Don't assume this thing is neutral. Build your own AI systems, because the Americans are saying we must make sure that these AI systems reflect our American values, our Western values, and our interests, not those of the Chinese. They don't even talk about you because you have no interests. They didn't say Africans because, I mean, you are not consequential, unfortunately. And Brian, what about the Chinese? Are they Father Christmas? Now, in this game of the AI revolution, there's no Father Christmas. You know, yesterday we read about Father Christmas who lost his goodies and was going in the wrong direction. Here, there's no Father Christmas at all. Tonight, go to DeepSeek R1 and say, DeepSeek, can you explain to me what happened at the Tiananmen Square? What were the reasons behind it? DeepSeek will say to you, I'm sorry, I cannot answer that question. I'm an AI assistant designed to provide helpful and harmful responses. The Chinese are making sure you don't discuss their bad behavior. So you and I have to build our own AI systems and look after our own interests. AI must be understood as part of an ecosystem. Many technologies are involved, and in particular, quantum computing and synthetic biology. You must look at these things. Why do we care? We're talking about finance here. The AI is going to contribute $11 trillion to global GDP this year. Generative AI alone, $4 trillion. Why is this happening? It is because of the staggering impact on productivity by AI. Productivity per person has gone up. Goldman Sachs, 95% of the work is now done by AI, only 5% is done by human beings. And a work that took 6 weeks is now done in minutes. Okay? Productivity impact. Where you're producing 1,000 units, you're now doing 10,000. 1,000 units, 20. This is the major reason everyone's talking about AI. It is a major driver of productivity. Just to show you the quantum, the size, generative AI is equivalent to the Japanese economy. Just one type of AI is equivalent to the Japanese economy. If you want to be conservative, you can say, you can look at McKinsey and PwC. They're saying $15.7 trillion by 2030. This is 7. Even those numbers are huge. What can we do as Africans to have a piece of that pie? What can we do to make sure some of that money is leveraged in African philanthropy? Jobs. The bad news, Professor, job displacement. Jobs are going to die. That's the bad news, and accept it. The good news, job modification. Most jobs won't die, they'll be modified. Even better, there'll be new jobs. So your task is to make sure the job equation, new jobs plus modified jobs, are much more than the destroyed jobs. How can we make sure this equation is correct in Africa? If we don't, then we're going to be victims of AI. We must make sure our new jobs and our modified jobs are much more than the destroyed jobs. We must prepare for the new jobs, but don't lie to each other. Look at this. Mr. Horse, you won't lose your job to a tractor, but to a horse who learns how to drive a tractor. That never happened. So as we humor ourselves, let us not tell each other falsehoods like this. There's no horse that learned to drive a tractor. What are the new jobs we need in Africa? Data scientists, machine learning engineers, AI software engineers, data engineers, AI researchers, AI domain experts. These are the new jobs. How many are we producing at UJ, at UCT, at WITS? We need a prompt engineer. We need to have a meta software engineer, a Discord manager, a smart contract lawyer. The lawyers at WITS, the professors, have no capacity to produce a smart contract lawyer. I'm sorry to say to you, Dean Morris. A smart contract lawyer is a specialist lawyer who can ensure that an agreement is made in the metaverse and encoded using blockchain. They don't even know what those things mean, those professors. We need new teachers. Here's the message to the academy. Here's the message to you professors. With these students, we're saying, don't show me your certificate. Show me what you can do. It's not enough to say, I've got an MBA from WITS. I've got an MBA from Harvard. I've got a PhD from Cambridge. What can you do? What are your skills? Don't show me your certificate. Show me what you can do. Problem-solving skills, critical thinking, learning how to learn, learning how to unlearn, learning how to relearn, financial literacy, digital skills, AI skills, entrepreneurial skills, mindset shift, mindset. We need a can-do mentality. We need possibility thinkers. We need people who are self-confident. We need people who are self-aware. We need people who have self-respect. We need to push employability. We need to push the creation of jobs. You know, it's not enough for us to create our own AI systems. We must also participate in the semiconductor industry that produces the chips. Why? I'll dramatize by looking at NVIDIA. NVIDIA, on the 9th of July, became the first company in the world to be a $4 trillion, market cap company, ahead of Microsoft, ahead of Apple. Now, this company does not do AI systems. They just produce the GPUs, the NPUs, and the NPUs. If we are going to benefit as Africans, we have the minerals in the DRC, in South Africa, in Zimbabwe. Why don't we partner and be part of that? That is huge. Just to make you understand, that number is bigger than France, bigger than Russia, bigger than Canada, bigger than us, all of us, at $3.4 trillion. Just to dramatize, I know you love mining. Look at how those mining companies are small compared to NVIDIA. Just in $billion dollars, eh? BHP, Glencore, they're Mickey Mouse companies compared to this. We want a piece of that pie as Africans. And you think that, Amazon is big, Walmart is big, Ford, look at how they compare to NVIDIA. I am saying that if we are going to benefit from the economics of AI, number one, we must use AI. Number two, we must build and develop our own AI systems. But more importantly, we must also be part of the semiconductor industry because we're talking about $4 trillion for one company. Okay, I'm winding down now. We must make sure that we don't put the cart before the horse. We need awareness, we need energy, we need digital infrastructure, we need compute resources, we need data, we need cash. We have 100 PhDs in one company building those LLMs. China is producing 1.4 million engineers a year. America, 100,000. We need energy. Look at China. And what are you doing in South Africa? Load shedding, stage 100s. Eh? You are not ready for AI, Dean. You are joking. Because AI is energy hungry. So when you have this deficit in South Africa, stage 100s, Zimbabwe, South Africa, we are not ready. We've got a problem, then of governance and so on. We need in each country a national vision, a national strategy of AI. As I'm winding down, I won't say much. The reason I'm saying this is, even in philanthropy, and this is for you now, you can use AI in African philanthropy. How? Data-driven decision-making. How? Predictive analytics for impact. How? Personalized donor engagement. How? Grant application screening, real-time monitoring. These are applications for you as an ecosystem. You can use AI within your system for fraud detection, for insights, for resource optimization, for the identification of beneficiaries, for impact storytelling. This technology is useful in every sector, including yours as philanthropy. In agriculture, and I'm winding down some videos.
If your farm looks agriculture, the AI in agriculture market is booming, going from $1.7 billion in 2023 to nearly $9 billion by 2031. But what's driving this rapid growth? Generative AI is now a game changer, offering real-time insights and accelerating decision-making.
Drones in agriculture?
Growers, ranchers, academics, to bring about better, faster, and healthier workflows and yields. Not to mention costs. Drones are also
The same drones in Gaza, drones in Ukraine, killing people.
Israel used the swarm attack to strike dozens of targets, together with other missiles.
AI is a double-edged sword. You can use AI in agriculture, in mining, you can use AI at war. Look at that machine that bombed
The most
Iran.
expensive warplane made. It's visible, and it can deliver a nuclear strike without being seen. This is the B-2 Ghost bomber, the crown jewel of U.S.
Now, this bomber had two people, a pilot and a bomber. In future, there will be no person there. It will be remotely controlled. Mining, energy.
Applications of artificial
energy sector in incredible ways. Imagine using AI for predictive maintenance, analyzing data from wind turbines or solar panels to foresee issues before they happen.
Okay, so I think we can do during the discussion look at this, but I want to conclude now. All I'm saying is in manufacturing, in agriculture, in education, in governance, the applications of AI. And all these things will depend on leadership. I'm going to get to my end of my presentation, and whether I can see the sister is there. So we must learn from other places in the Global South. The things we are talking about are in the book. Read the book. Hey, Maurice, here's the book from the professor. And there's another on SDGs. We're concluding. What are we saying? Africa must have agency. We must make AI work for us, anchored by an ecosystem approach. We must use AI to solve our socio-political economic problems. We must embrace AI not as a nice to have, but as an existential matter. All these things will rise or fall on leadership. Political leadership, economic leadership, business leadership, and of course, African philanthropy leadership. But I want to conclude by challenging you, Comrade Bomba, and the professor. We must reposition African philanthropy. When Africans give Africans, it cannot be charity. How can we be philanthropic to ourselves? I don't want to disrupt your language, But I want to say that you must emphasize that when Africans give to Africans, it is strategic intervention. We are not being charitable. We are being strategic. So let's keep the language of African philanthropy, but let us emphasize that when we do it for ourselves, we're not being charitable to ourselves, we're being strategic in that pursuit. Why don't we use AI to enhance and sharpen that strategic intervention? Why don't we say, indeed, AI can be a driver of inclusive development and shared prosperity in Africa? I thank you so very much.